Hello, it's John Stuttard, JB here, welcoming you to a special edition of the Chorus Match Delayed. Now the reason why we're bringing it today is that last night we had technical problems with the live commentary from Turf Moor, and then the electricity cut off, which meant the whole commentary was ruined, and that's where you lost touch with me, I'm afraid, because the whole thing went down and we were off power for about half an hour or so. So unfortunately we couldn't continue with the commentary, which ruined it for you and everyone else. So what I'm decided to do is relive the last night again in full, and then we'll get an interview with Sean Dyche afterwards and his reaction to what was going to be a dramatic night, whatever happened. But with a place in the group stage up for grabs, it was essential that Burnley got the first goal. So let's go back to the teams emerging from the tunnel around about 7:45 last night, as Burnley took on Olympiacos. 3-1 down, remember, from what was a hotly disputed first leg, where the referee was, in the second half, I'll put it bluntly, bent as anything else, giving some really dodgy decisions in the Greeks' favour. Could we get revenge last night, or would the Greek tragedy incur? It's all a case of could we avoid a Greek tragedy. Burnley against Olympiacos. Full 90-minute commentary now coming right up. Well, this surely must be, welcome to Turf Moor, this surely must be Burnley's biggest European occasion for some 50 odd years. Beat Olympiacos 2-0, they go through to the Europa group stages, but they've got every chance in the world. But let's look at the lineup. Burnley going to play 4-4-2 here. Heaton in goal, then it's Bardsley, Longme and Taylor. Westwood and Henrik, the two midfielders. Then Lennon on the right, and an opportunity here for Dwight McNeil on the left to really make his mark. His first ever appearance, or his first ever start in a claret and blue in Burnley, and it's Sam Vokes and Ashley Barnes up front. On the bench it's Hart, Lowton, Cork, Tarkowski, Wood and Ward, and 27 Matthias Videre, who could make his first appearance this evening. And let's have a look at the Olympiacos side. Johnny Topoulis is in goal, and then it's Tekama's at right back, Vucinic and Miranda, the two centre backs, and Abdeloa, the left back. Bukanakis, Kamara are the two holders, and then you've got Prudence, Fortunis and Lazarus, the midfield three, with Guerrero up front. On the bench, Chodazales, Nacho, Fasatacid, Asprabad, Hassan, Tudoradis and Cisse. The referee tonight comes from Hungary, Victor Kasai. Big match referee, that's Victor Kasai, I've just seen there in the picture. We needed a big referee. We should have had one a week ago, when Burnley were desperately cheated, in my opinion, out of the first leg with some very controversial refereeing. But away we go then, Burnley in the claret and blue, attacking the goal to our right hand side, going from right to left, and a long ball up towards Sam Vokes, on towards Lennon. Lennon takes on his man, finds Westwood, back to Lennon again. Westwood forward again, and Bardsley making a good break, gets to the byline, pulled back, and the goalkeeper turns it behind for a corner. And already in the first 30 seconds, Burnley are really in business here. Remember, they're 3-1 down from the first leg, and almost got themselves the perfect platform. Corner kick to Burnley. Olympiacos, for the record, in changed shirts of white with a bit of red trim on it. Their coach Pedro Martins would have had heart in mouth there. There's only about a handful of Greek fans there. There must be at least 300 that have travelled over from Greece. Not a full house. Here's the corner into the penalty area from the right hand side. It was Westwood's corner, nodded away by Kamara to break out. A minute gone. Burnley 0, Olympiacos 0, but Burnley starting very much on the front foot, which can only be a positive sign here tonight. And they're going to go for it right from the word go. Really was some good football there, and interesting really to see that Burnley are going to be bang up for this one tonight. There's no doubt about that. One ball forward up towards Lennon, but that's cut out, and then the ball is won back a second time. Lennon will chase after that one, but the ball hooked away once again, and it's Cameron now over the halfway line. Finds Fortunatis, whose 2 goals were a big difference, although maybe the decisions that led up to the free kick and the goal and the penalty he scored were in what we'll call a very, very iffy variety. And if Burnley do go out, there will be fingers pointed at the Slovakian referee Viginic in the first leg, which was one of the most disgraceful refereeing decisions I've ever seen in my entire life. To give a penalty and a red card against the same, I say inverted commas, culprit, was it left a bitter taste in one's mouth when putting down the microphone a week ago. I've never thrown a microphone or a headset down in disgust as the cross comes in by Tukamas. Tukamas gets that ball away. A real opportunity here for Burnley now to really put some wrongs right. Prudence goes forward. Tukamadis takes the ball. Good football this now from Olympiacos, and they win the first quarter of the game off the defender. Good. I have to say, Kevin Long didn't put a foot wrong, I felt, in Greece a week ago in Athens. He played really well, I thought. What I'm more excited about, really, if you're looking at it from Burnley point of view, the Clarets point of view, is to see how young 18-year-old Dwight McNeil actually does tonight. He's a very good player, good feet, real natural winger, but this is Fortunatis with the first corner in from the left-hand side, and the shot's hit very waywardly there from about 30 yards out by Tukamas, and it's over the top of the crossbar. Burnley don't want to concede if they can in this match. They know a 2-0 win will be good enough because of the away goals, but they must do it within 90 minutes, and if they do that, they go through. Pedro Martins knows now he needs to defend, and his team obviously protecting a 2-goal lead, I should say, as Tom Heaton takes this kick. Forward it goes. Oh, well over halfway, takes the ball rather well. Vokes is there, does well. That looked a foul there by one of the Greek players, Bukanakis, former Nottingham Forest man, bringing down his man. It was Jeff Henrik, in fact. A free kick to Burnley. A real opportunity now for the Clarets to strike the first blow, and it's going to be Dwight McNeil, number 31, with the free kick. Left-footed, swings it in towards the edge of the penalty area, and nodded behind, is it? No, it's going to be kept in. I thought Miranda had was going to nod it out of play. The ball back with Dwight McNeil again, showing some good touches, but he's lost it. And here's Fortunatis. He's got Prudence running through the centre. Prudence now on his left foot, turns back inside, try to get it onto his right foot, and then gets it back onto his left foot from just inside the penalty area. Shoots wide of Tom Heaton's far right hand post, and Dwight McNeil, I'm sure, will breathe a huge sigh of relief as we go past the 5-minute mark here at Turf Moor. As we see again on replay, real opportunity there for Prudence to strike here, but he didn't hit his shot cleanly, and in the end it was well wide of the target. Ben Mee to bring it forward for Burnley. Look, he needs to have a good game because he's had quite a number of stinkers already in the games that we've seen so far this season. Notably here a week ago against Watford, well, just over a week and a half ago against Watford, when he just didn't seem to care. And don't ask me about what happened at Fulham either, because he wasn't brilliant that day either. But here's Fortunatis now running forward, cuts it in field, and now the ball comes to number 21, Tukamas. Tukamas now just tries to take it on, and then Prudence plays the ball back to the man who a lot of purists will say did the damage in the first leg, although a lot of people will. A lot of people though will say that the referee did the damage in the first leg, and certainly this commentator here you're listening to feels exactly that way, because some of his decisions were very questionable to say the least. 6 minutes gone here at Turf Moor. Burnley 0, Olympiacos 0 here in the Clarets match delayed, and tonight is going to be an important night for Sean Dyche's men. Don't have any fears about that. Here's Westwood now towards halfway, finds McNeil. McNeil back to Westwood, and then Kevin Long big opportunity for him to show what he's capable of. So far in the European games, he's proved his worth so far in some of the games he played. He played really well against Istanbul a couple of weeks ago when we won after extra time by 1-0, which was quite an interesting game, although albeit not televised, which was a shame, because we'd love to have been able to bring that game to you, but unfortunately they didn't televise it. Offside incidentally there against Sam Vokes, free kick to Olympiacos. Up inside their half. Well, a real opportunity here for Dwight McNeil to put pressure here on the injured Johan Berg Gudmundsson, who was taken off after 15 minutes at Fulham. And that was a body blow for the Clarets. But if McNeil has a good game tonight, I wouldn't be too amazed if he started against Manchester United on Sunday, which is a big game now at both. When you look at the situation of Manchester United, they were soundly beaten the other night, as you may have heard. And we had technical issues in that one as well. And, well, we would... I think that game at 4 o'clock will be a real humdinger. That takes place on Sunday, but at the moment we're dealing in the present as Barnsley plays their ball down the right, and then the ball comes back to Westwood in the centre of the penalty area, up towards Sam Vokes. Did well, tries to shake off his man, and in the end it was good Peterson defending there by Miranda, because Sam Vokes is not the most easiest player to mark. He's a very big, tall, bulky lad as Barnsley takes possession on the right hand side. And now Westwood to find Henrik now in field. McNeil, good football again. Nice intelligent build up play this from Burnley. Here goes Charlie Taylor up against his man. Taylor does well, but unfortunately so does Eldo Alai. Gets the tackle in, and now here come Olympiacos, who will look to exploit on the break. Remember, they lead the game overall 3-1 on aggregate after the first leg a week ago in the Greek capital of Athens. Here's Lennon, who needs to have a big game tonight. He really hasn't done too much really, as far as I'm aware, really in the first few moments of the first few games of the season. I know it's very difficult to get into the spirit of things, but an experienced companion like Lennon should be playing a lot better really in a Burnley shirt. Lennon tries to get it there. He looks as if he was fouled there by Takamayas, and surely the referee's got to be out with the card here, because if he keeps complaining here, I'm sure the referee from Hungary, Kasai, must get his book out there. That was an awful challenge. You see that challenge like that in the Premier League, he'd be in the book straight away, and I've seen Burnley players booked for challenges less than that. It's a free kick, no more, but it should be a yellow card. I'm just hoping the referee doesn't follow the same route as the referee in Athens a week ago. I really don't hope, because FIFA actually regard Mr. Kasai of Hungary as one of the best 15 referees in the world. As the free kick comes in by McNeil and nodded back by Vukinic, back to his goalkeeper Gianniopoulos, and it's now away by Camera over to the far side, and it's Fortunanis, or Fortunis rather. Still 0-0, and I spent all day, would you believe, brushing up on my pronunciation. I had spent an hour of my build-up to this game trying to practice all these names. It's one of the most difficult matches I had to do. I thought doing Saudi Arabia in the World Cup last summer was very difficult, and the first game, mercifully, I only covered them once, and that was enough for me. We were obliged to do it because it was the opening game. A long ball up towards Barnes. Took it down on his chest, or what was initially we thought he had. He must have handled the ball. The free kick has been given against him there. But yeah, he used his arm there. I suppose the referee was liable to give it. He was in line with the play there, the Hungarian referee. 11 minutes gone, 0-0. But it still remains 3-1 to Olympiacos on aggregate. And at the moment it's looking pretty bleak at the moment for Burnley, unless they can get that first goal. It's early days yet, admittedly, but you just get the feeling really that the first goal is going to be so crucial this afternoon in terms, or this evening rather, in terms of trying to get through to the next round. I really do get that sense of feeling as regards that in small doses. We're not, because it's a delayed commentary, we were originally going live with it, but we are not doing any comment section stuff tonight. Here's not for the delayed game anyway. Here's a little bit of higgledy-piggledy there. Bardsley there putting Long almost in trouble, but a good one ball. It might turn out to be good for Burnley. This, as Miranda had to hook that out for a throw-in, with Vokes right on his tail here, and he hooked it out for a throw-in in line with the edge of the Olympiacos penalty area on the far side, the Burnley left-hand side as we look at it. Well, certainly there has been a real urgency about Burnley's play. At Turf Moor, they are a different proposition, as the other European teams found out. Aberdeen found out, albeit after extra time. And certainly Istanbul, Bakasnia found out as well, to their costs after extra time. Both the home legs, in fact, were second legs as well as this one, and both went to extra time. Could there be an omen in that? Here's Ben Mee. A 3-1 Burnley win would be the only scoreline that would guarantee extra time, because it would be level on aggregate, and it would be level on the amount of away goals as well. Here's Lennon now for the Clarets. Remember, they have that important away goal. Lennon playing it into the penalty area from the right hand side, handed away once again. And now Fortunatus takes the break now. 13 minutes gone, and Dwight McNeil hacks him down. It's just going to be a free kick to Olympiacos, and I think that's about right. McNeil did hack him down, didn't get anything of the ball. Had to do that, I think, Dwight McNeil, even at this early stage of the second leg. Good, sensible play, although it was a foul. It was a good free kick to give away in some respects, because it breaks the play up, because Olympiacos, just for that split second, were getting the steam up. Meanwhile, whilst I was talking to you now, Fortunatus has been bundled off the ball by the robust Ashley Barnes. And a free kick, in fact, to Olympiacos again, about 20 yards from halfway on the far side, inside their own half, in fact. 0-0. Long ball up there towards Guerrero, but that's going to reach Tom Heaton. That's the ball bouncer once, and pouches it no problem at all. Heaton's kick wasn't the best, and it fell. Well, Fortunatus' touch was very heavy, otherwise Tom Heaton may well have had to dig his chest in there. That wasn't a great kick by his own high standards. A long ball up towards towards box. And wow, did that look a penalty? Barnes is claiming furiously that's a penalty. The fans don't like it. Folks wants to ask one or two quizzical looks at towards the near side linesman. Now then, there's the ball forward. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, there were two Greeks on him, which probably forced Barnes into appealing. I don't know. It would have been, I think, an extremely harsh decision. Although, I mean, looked at the way the Greeks got their penalty a week ago, and if he had given it, I would have said good decision. Quarter of an hour gone now, but it's still 0-0. And here's Lennon now on the near side, tucks the ball back, and now Long takes over, finds Ben Mee. 0-0 is the score. Westwood takes control, plays the ball over the halfway line. Again, patient build-up. They can't really afford to be too patient tonight, Burnley, otherwise they're going to be in trouble. The long attempted ball by Mees has bisected everybody. He's out for Olympiacos throw halfway inside their own half. So 16 minutes on the clock. Burnley 0, Olympiacos 0 at Turf Moor in the second leg of the Europa League playoff. If Burnley can win the game by at least 2-0, they will go through on away goals. Anything more than that would be an absolute bonus. A 3-1 Burnley win tonight would guarantee extra time, folks. So we'll still be in for a late finish then, as as the ball was a little bit short there from Henrik and almost sold Ben Mee down the river. And Ben Mee, in fairness to him, recovered very well. Tom Heaton now has the ball back up towards the robust Ashley Barnes. You can tell it's Ashley Barnes the way he runs in towards people. He's always trying to win that first ball quicker than anybody else on the field. This is Long to get the ball forward from his own half up towards Folks, trying to flick it back on in towards Ashley Barnes' path. It's knocked back into the Burnley half. Now Ben Mee has picked the ball up just shy of halfway. Now goes over the halfway line. Now the ball's been fed into Sam towards Dwight McNeil on the left hand side. That's a good little ball to Charlie Taylor, but good defending there by Lazarus. He catched up very well to that and concedes the corner here. Now this is where Burnley have to make their chances pay here, you feel. It's a nice little ball that from Dwight McNeil, perfectly weighted as well down the left hand channel. Now then, 17 and a half minutes gone here at Turf Moor. Can Burnley get that all important vital breakthrough? McNeil with the corner into the penalty area. Long is up, Mee is up, Long is in there too. Folks is there and he can't. He tried to hook it goalwards and he hooked it in the end about a yard or two over the crossbar and behind for a goal kick to Olympiacos. Just couldn't dig it out, and then from 7 or 8 yards it would have been difficult to have sort of bicycle kicked it over and into the back of the net. Would have been a very, very difficult skill to perfect, and it's not often the best players can do that. It would have taken an absolute miracle, but at the moment Burnley are holding on in there, and that's the important thing at this moment in time. They can't dwell on their laurels at the moment. It's really important that is the case in point here now. Here's Ashley Barnes, and here's a chance now inside the penalty area, and Westwood, when in great position, should have shot as soon as he got into the penalty area. He delayed and it allowed the defender Miranda to get back and then just took it away. It was a real opportunity for the former Sheffield United and Aston Villa man there, and he just couldn't take that chance, and that was the disappointing aspect of it, because it needed that opportunity and it just didn't come. The ball out of play on the near side, still inside the Burnley half. It's all happening here at Turf Moor, and what a game now, what atmosphere there. The Peel's handball, possibly against Miranda. Again, nothing doing from the referee, but in the end it wasn't to be, and it remains still goalless. I have to say it's been remarkable in a lot of respects that it still remains 0-0 as we come towards 20 minutes here. And here goes Ashley Barnes down the far side, and number 25 Miranda, Roderick, his actual name on the back of the shirt. Well, his arm was out. It was more out than what we saw in Athens with Ben Gibson. He made that very, very generous call, the Slovenian referee, I should say. And the Greeks have a throw. There was a little bit of skullduggery after that first leg, of course, when Burnley and the Greeks didn't get a penalty towards the death of the first half, and they all jumped up, all 20 of them over in Greece. It was one of those bizarre things I've never seen in a football stadium. An entire squad and staff of Olympiacos demanding a penalty, and I just wonder if that got in the referee's head a bit. Although Sean Dyche went on to say, go into detail a bit more than that. Did one of the Olympiacos officials actually have a word? Here's a chance now for Lennon, just couldn't take it under control, and the ball falls to Giannatopoulos. And in the end, it just will not break for Burnley at the moment. They're playing really good football. That's a lovely ball over the top, and he just needed to kill that ball with the first touch, Lennon, and just couldn't reach it, and the agony on his face says it all. But Burnley are having chances. They're having good possession here, but they need to score. And I feel the more goes on, the more the game goes on when they don't score. Remember, they've got on the bench Loughton, Robert, Tarkowski, Cork, Ward, Vidra and Wood, and Joe Hart as backup goalkeeper, although I suspect he won't be used and he'll be needed for Manchester United on Sunday afternoon. Meanwhile, Ben Mee has he been penalised here? Well, I assume it's a free kick to Burnley then, if that's the case. Guerrero completely barged into him. We're 22 minutes into the first half here. We're coming up towards the halfway mark of the first half, and so far so good defensively for the Claros. They haven't shipped a goal yet. I think they would have shipped about 2 or 3 by now against Fulham, I think, at this stage of the proceedings. Here's a chance for Barnes, keeps it in well. Chance here for McNeil. Chance here, folks, inside the 6-yard box, and he's headed it wide. Oh, what a chance for Sam Vokes. Better for Burnley. They're really looking up for it tonight, and just for one fleeting moment it looked as if the opening goal was gonna come. Good work from Barnes down the left, put it into Dwight McNeil, crossed in from the left, and Ashley Barnes got ahead of the defender, ahead of the goalkeeper, but he lacked the direction to head it wide, and the anguish on Sean Dyche's face says it all. 23 minutes gone and Burnley have missed a gilt-edged opportunity. Now here's Vokes again on the break. So break here for McNeil. He's having a good match at the moment. He's having a match to remember, the 18-year-old. I'll say one thing about him. He's very fearless. It's a throw-in deep inside the Olympiacos half over on the far side. Still 0-0. And what a game it has been. The ball back towards Westwood once again. Now Long now getting over the halfway line. Good football this from the Clarets. Now a chance now for Bardsley. Bardsley chips the ball forward and Tuckerman takes the ball, and then the flag is up for a free kick, I think, or a throw in, sorry. Well, it's been an amazing start to the game, whatever way you look at it. Here's Long now for Burnley. 0-0 here in Athens. It's been a game that's ebbed and flowed. It's been very enjoyable to commentate on and very enjoyable to watch. There's still no goals. And here's a chance now for Prudence, and Prudence gives the ball back. Real opportunity now for the Greek side to come plodding forward. And still we await the first goal here with bated breath, and the ball back to the goalkeeper, who kicks away, the Olympiacos keeper that is, kicks towards halfway. Good header one again. Barnes tackling in there, and Robert Vokes, and a free kick there, and the referee straight away. I thought he was going to show Miranda the yellow card, actually, because, well, that's, to me, that's a book I've just seen in there. It's more a rugby tackle, and I think the referee needs to get a grip on this, and I honestly feel that it should be a yellow card offence, which has upset Sam Vokes a little bit. But Burnley, though, have a free kick midway inside the Olympiacos half, in a very promising and dangerous position for the Greek side in any case. In towards Kevin Long. Mee got the first header, and then the Greeks hooked the second ball away then. Bardsley there, hustling there and bustling, but he's lost it. And now a chance now for Prudence now to break down the left. Prudence down the near side. Prudence is a good cross towards Guerrero on the far side. Guerrero touching it back, and he touched it back poorly. Away by Westwood. But then Miranda chests the ball down, finds Bukinakis. Bukinakis now over to the far side. Still amazingly 0-0. Sam Vokes missed the biggest chance of the first half. It's yet still 0-0 here. McNeil doing well, finding Barnes. Good football again from Burnley, but then Barnes was tripped there surely by the Greeks, and Barnes said, come on, he needs to be in the book here. One or two of these decisions should be bookable offences. So we see there Chris Wood left out the squad. Jack Cork there too. Stephen Ward, who hasn't had his best starts to the game. He's usually a very dependable left back. Well, I'm just wondering whether age is starting to actually catch up with the young with the Irishman. Here's Henrik now for Burnley. And I believe Jose Mourinho's in the crowd somewhere. I believe somewhere in the director's box in the Bob Road stand. I've been getting the sense from there, and I'm sure we'll spot him in the crowd at some point. But he is here at Turf Moor tonight to take a check on Burnley. So he's obviously getting away from the stresses and pressures of managing Manchester United and just having a night out in Burnley. Good on him. Good on him. I think it's really nice to see Jose Mourinho out in the public eye and enjoying his football still. He's been a man under pressure, there's no doubt about that. He knows as well as we know that football is a results-driven business, and his tenure at Manchester United has been the most talked about football issue of the week so far. God help him if he loses here at Turf Moor on Sunday. The knives will be out for him. Here's an opportunity for Westbrook, but the referee straight away saw an infringement just in the build-up by Vukovic. And it was a free kick. He went right through Sam Vokes there. And one or two of these Olympiacos players, I'm surprised haven't been called over for the referee, because one or two of them have been persistently fouling. Now then, big opportunity here for young Dwight McNeil. Or Ashley Westwood now. It looks as if young Dwight McNeil says, I'm having this one on the right hand side, I'm going to hit this in left footed. Now, he's not a bad set piece specialist as we saw earlier on in the game. McNeil now with the free kick, and it's a good flighted curly one in there, a chance in there, chance for Henrik shoots, and it's blocked by Guerrero and behind for a corner. Good defending there by the centre forward there for Olympiacos. Lovely ball whipped in there by McNeil, causing all sorts of problems. Maybe Henrik, if he'd had his time again, could have tried to hit it first time on the volley, went for a touch, then hit it, and it gave the defender Guerrero the ample time he needed to knock the ball away. Corner kick to Burnley. They are really pushing now. We had to get a spare ball back out onto the field so we could get these corners taken. So at the moment, 0-0. Here's Dwight McNeil again. Oh, and Vokes from 6 yards. Not over the bar. Lovely flick in the first place to get it forward, and then Sam Vokes. Good corner again from McNeil. How many times have we said that already tonight? Kevin Long got the flick at the near, and at the far post, Sam Vokes should be scoring. Oh, there's no excuse for missing a chance like that. Burnley should be 2 up with those chances. If Vokes had taken both those chances, Burnley conceivably would have wiped out the aggregate advantage Olympiacos started with. And that is catastrophically a bad miss there from his obvious viewpoint. And it remains 0-0, annoyingly on the night, because Burnley have been the better team. They should be winning this 2-0. Instead we've got Charlie Taylor getting it forward towards Barnes, and then back to Vokes, and then Barnes again, and Vokes is away, and another corner given. Another opportunity for Dwight McNeil to send in one of those one of those brilliant corners that he almost did to great effect about a minute or two back. Here he is now, the fearless young 18-year-old. He's really loving this up, really lapping it up here tonight. Again the left foot, and out curler this time. Vokes almost there. They're pale hands, well, half a pale hands, but the referee I don't think was going to be interested anyway. It would have been although I have to say it might have been extremely harsh. Let's have a look at it again I'm looking at it again on replay. Well, I've seen them given. Having looked at that, I've seen them given. Westwood now to Bardsley. Bardsley now back in field. This is Long. Long will knock the ball back. Tom Heaton is there. 0-0. Heaton now to get the ball away for the Clarets. Remember, they need to score twice. We've had half an hour. 0-0 is the score. And Barnes in to win the next one. McNeil is there too. Vokes is there also. The referee is blown for a high foot, which is not... Well, it's not a... well, that's... Looked a little harsh. Just looking in there on the replay, the ball was there to be won. I think if anything, Kamara, I think, made a little bit more of it than he needed to be. And there in the crowd, as I suspected he would be, is the Manchester United manager Jose Mourinho. So he's taking a Burnley night out on a Thursday night. Good to see him there. And we know it's him because he's hiding behind that baseball cap. And taking in the sights and sounds. He does look a little bit pensive to me. Wouldn't you be if you've lost 2 out of 3 of your first games and you're in charge of one of the biggest clubs in the world? Of course you would. I think anyone would. Here he's carrying along now for Burnley. 0-0 here, but they need to score here, the Clarets. It's now a real case of they must score. A 0-0 is not enough, a 1-0 is not enough. Here's a long ball forward from Ben Mee, but it's cut out again. The Greek side really trying to lay siege here, and Fortunatus takes possession. And Fortunatus now finds Lazarus over on the far side. Lazarus now cuts back, and again they're just slowing the pace down here, the Greeks, but they've lost out once more. This is Ashley Barnes. Barnes turning nicely, finding Henrik, and now Henrik on in turn to Kevin Long, and Long plays it out to Phil Bardsley. Bardsley now on the right hand side, of course, and Bardsley pirouettes past an Olympiacos player. Good football this from Burnley, keeping the intensity and the pressure right up here at the moment. Ben Mee with a lovely little dig forward. Still 0-0 here, remember. 33 minutes gone. The Clarets match delay. We've got some live football coming up on Saturday for you as well from the Premier League, and we'll tell you all about that at full time for you, because I think you're going to enjoy our offering this Saturday. As the long ball comes forward, and it is a chance for Prudence. Prudence inside the area, real opportunity there. Good block there by Bardsley, and then Prudence hits his shot into the side netting. Should be a goal kick. He's giving it the other way. It's a corner, and they're not liking that, the Burnley fans. The Greeks are giving it large, I can see there in the stand, but for me that's a goal kick. Well, they did well there, Prudence, to get the first shot off. It was a great block by Phil Bardsley, and then the second shot did not deflect off Bardsley at all, and it hit the side netting, and the referee and the linesman have deemed that to be a corner, and Mr. Kasai is getting a very, very unsavoury reception, and I don't think he deserves anything else right now, because that was not a corner at all. Here's the corner now. Fortunis with it. Folks headed away. Comes out now, 25 yards out. Shot came back in, left-footed. Couldn't tell who it was, but it was blocked in any case. And Tukamikas gets the ball back to his goalkeeper, who kicks long. Still 0-0 here between Burnley and Olympiacos, but still it remains 3-1 to the Greeks on aggregate. As we come up towards the final 10 minutes of the first half, and here goes Westwood on to Henrik, and that's going to be a throw to Burnley, 20 yards inside the Olympiacos half on the far side. Remember, 0-0 is the scoreline. This really is a very, very evenly poised game. And here is a chance now. Oh, straight at the goalkeeper. Prudence again. He's getting some good shots off here today, and yet we haven't been able to bring an opportunity yet of any real substance, really. Tom Eaton's had to make a significant save, but look at Dwight McNeil there on the far side, fearless up against 2 Greek defenders, and he's won up himself a throw in there against all the odds. Good play that from Dwight McNeil. I've really enjoyed him on the ball. His work rate and desire is there for all to see. His ball retention looks really good as well. We're inside the last 9 minutes of the first half, plus any stoppage time at the end, and then we'll take a short break and then continue with the second half. Full second half commentary in a second. Here's a chance now for Kamara, now dispossessing Barnes there, and gets the ball back. And now Fortunatus takes the ball And he's fortunate, in my opinion, to get a free kick there off Ashley Barnes, if you pardon the pun. Well, maybe not so fortunate because he was clipped. Still remains 0-0. This really is a really important time. If Burnley could just get one goal here before the break, it will make that second half a real grandstand finale. It will make a great grandstand finale in the second half, I'm certain of it. There's Prudence playing that ball in, and Prudence loses out, and McNeil, not for the first time, sweeps up the pieces and gets Burnley on their way. And look at the run here of Sandbox. Out comes the goalkeeper out of his penalty area, and Giannotis here had to use his head, couldn't use his hands because he was outside the penalty area. Here's Ashley Barnes now, and the ball played in towards Sandbox, and Barnes was actually offside and wouldn't have got there anyway. May have been in Sandbox's best interest if he had his time back again. Maybe he should have had the shot. There was plenty of room, then he thought. Could have turned, had the shot, and made John Lottis work for his save. Sean Dyche just keeping on urgency, ask for more, he's thinking in his head. He's so far so good. I mean, if it was a chess match, Burnley, if it was a boxing match here, I think the fight would have, I mean, Burnley would be winning massively on points, but it's not over. It's not on boxing rules, it's on football rules, unfortunately, and at the moment Burnley are nowhere nearer where they need to be. If only it was a boxing match, it may have been stopped by now. Burnley might have been declared the winners, but as I said, we don't deal in boxing, this is football. And still, they're trying to lay what you call a bloody nose to this defence of Olympiacos, but they just can't succeed or try and do so here. It is really, really difficult at this moment in time. Remember, Burnley into their first European adventure for nearly 51 years, and they don't want to give up the ghost right now. That's a throw. That's a foul throw, incidentally, and that's a very rare occurrence. Certainly in European circles, you don't see foul throws going at European club competition level. Good spot there by Mr. Kasai of Hungary. And here's Lenin now from the throw-in. Takes the ball on. Vokes is on his right-hand side. Lenin decides to go forward. He's got Bardsley if he needs on the overlap. Uses Phil Bardsley. It's a good, intelligent ball. Bardsley's cross is an excellent one, but Miranda got there first. And here goes number 7, Fortunis. But again, he runs into traffic. But Fortunis picks the ball up once again for the Greek side, who finished, I think, second or third in their league, which is in terms of quality not as good as the Premier League. There's no doubt about that. So we come up towards the final 5 minutes of an high-octane first half, which is sadly, unfortunately, not yielded any goals yet. But I don't really want to be putting my property head on at this stage, because anything could still happen. The Greek side are still liable to go on the attack themselves, and they are entitled to do an attempt to score themselves. The ball back towards Heaton, who's not had much to do, only gathering a couple of long-range shots from Prudence. And here goes Westwood. Burnley so comfortable in possession, and when you've got the home comforts of Turf Moor behind you, there's no doubt about it, it's an easier place to play your football if you're wearing a Clampton Blue shirt. Away from home, they were just so stifled by the atmosphere and some very, very dodgy refereeing. And I've gone 40 minutes without mentioning all that. Here's a long ball forward up towards Folks. Can't find Barnes. I have to say the two centre-backs for Olympiacos have dealt with all that very well. Remember, the winners of this go into the qualifying group stages here. Rangers already through, I believe. And Celtic look as if they're going through as well. They're leading 1-0 at the moment in their knockout match. And, well, you would think now, as Tuchel Knights plays that ball back, and a chance here for Prudence. And he's hit that into the stand with his right foot. And that would have settled it once and for all. But it would have been desperately against the run of the play, and it would have been an undeserved lead on the night for the Greeks if he had hit the target, if you like. Still remains goalless here at Turf Moor. Good football again. Oh, that just couldn't find Jeff Henrik. That was a badly hit ball forward there by Westwood. And when you look at the opportunities that some folks had, McNeil with the cross, that was the earlier one where he headed it well wide, and then from the corner a few minutes later, folks again from 6 yards couldn't prop it. 3 to half time. Sean Dyche having consultations there. They've got on the bench, remember, Lilton, Tarkowski, Cork, Ward, Vidra and Wood. And if you're wondering why I haven't mentioned Joe Hart, yes, he is on the bench, but he's the goalkeeper. It's going to be another throw in here. Burnley's European adventure at the moment stands less than 50 minutes away from being all over. And they had to beat Aberdeen in the second qualifying round, and then they had to beat Istanbul, and Vokes is onside down the left hand side. Barnes is making a good to get away from his right, so too is Lannon. Barnes, oh, he stabs it wide with his side foot, with his right foot, and that was the chance that Burnley were hoping for. And Ashley Barnes just couldn't provide the finish. I think he is claiming for a penalty, which he's not going to get, but what a run by Sam Vokes. He broke the offside trap brilliantly, played a lovely ball across the penalty area, and Ashley Barnes arriving like a train. He's not the most paciest of players, Ashley, but he almost got the goal then, and it just whistled slightly past the post. Unlucky. And it's just not Burnley's night at all. 3 big chances in the game, and they haven't taken them. Referee's blown. We've got 90 seconds of the match, first half, to go, and then we'll have a couple of minutes of a break. Refresh the batteries for the second half, and a chance here for Vokes inside the area, but the goalkeeper Jan Tokis takes the ball. It's very, very difficult for the Greek side at the moment. 0-0, amazingly, here at Turf Moor. Half time cannot come quickly enough for the Greek side here at Turf Moor. Tom Heaton has not had much to do yet as we go into the final minute of the first half. Joe Hart there sitting on the bench, probably being saved up for Manchester United at the weekend. One ball forward over the top. Again, well read once again by the Greek defence. And here's Prudence, I should say. I say Prudence. It's not the same pronunciation usually to me, but that's how we pronounce it. Here's Tasmakis, and now the one ball forward by Cameron. The flag has stayed down. Both Ben Mee was there. Guerrero had made a good break through the centre, and Ben Mee had the presence of mind now. Now that's the defending I was used to seeing Ben Mee do last season. Really was good spotter's badge there to spot the danger there. The fourth official incidentally signalled a minute to be added on at the end of the first half, which will be a welcome relief to anybody of a Greek persuasion here at the moment. Burnley 0, Olympiacos 0. Playoff round here. Winners of the tie on aggregate will go forward to the groups in a guaranteed 6-match group phase. Whatever happens, as Fortunis goes down that left hand side and tries to go round the blind side. Pedro Martins, well, nothing changes in his world, but his team could have shipped 3 goals tonight. So I think he'll be quite a happy chappy getting into the break at 0-0 here. And that's the way I think it's going to end here as we come up towards the last 5 seconds of the 1 minute. 3, 2, 1, and there goes the half-time whistle blown by Mr. Kasai, who's getting viewed quite a number of boos for 1 or 2 decisions, but Sam Vokes missed the 2 best ones, heading wide on both occasions. And then Ashley Barnes towards the death of the first half, sliding one wide after some good work from some folks down the left when he broke the offside trap to an absolute tee, hooked it back across, and in the end it was well wide. But plenty of positive to take, but sadly at the moment no goals. We're going to take a short break here at Turf Moor, come back with the second half commentary in a minute or two's time. But the situation here at Turf Moor is this: it's Burnley nil, Olympiacos nil on the night, but Burnley still trail the Greeks 3-1 on aggregate. We'll be back with the second half right after the break. Well, welcome back to Turf Moor. Just in time for the start of the second half then. Olympiacos in white shirts to get us underway with red trim, red shorts and red stockings. Attacking the goal to our right. Burnley need Italian Clarendon boy, and off we go then. Burnley's European campaign as things stand 45 minutes away from being quelled here, unless they can find 2 goals without the Greeks scoring themselves in return. Then Burnley will be out of Europe, but they need the 2 goals. And there will be a lot of questions asked. There will be inquests, certainly from the first leg, should the referee have been allowed to make the poor decisions he made, certainly on the penalty that Olympiacos got and the iffy red card for Ben Gibson. But that's all in the future. It all depends on now in the next 45. Can Burnley score 2 goals without Olympiacos replying? If they do that, they go through on the away goals rule. Chris Wood's goal, penalty goal, remember, has put them still very much in the hunt. Here's Ben Mee now. No changes, incidentally, from the first half. So just to remind you, the teams: Heaton, Bardsley, Long, Mead, Taylor, Westwood, Henrik, Lennon, McNeil, Vokes and Barnes for Burnley, 4-4-2 for them. Janiatos for Olympiacos rather. Tukamayas, Bukovic, Miranda and El Duayo across the back. Bukanadis, Kamara, Prudence, Fortunis, Lazarus and Guerrero up front, and a chance here already for Burnley, and the ball Just wouldn't bounce for Lennon. Long no has it. Chances here now for Bardsley. Bardsley does well. Good control body. Former Manchester United man, and the ball into the penalty area. Well plucked out by Giannotis. The great goalkeeper. Did well here. Bardsley cut inside and good cross. And just couldn't find Vokes in the end. On the bench for the Clarets, Hart, Lowton, Tarkowski, Cork, Ward, Vidra and Chris Wood. Here's Ashley Westwood now for the Clarets. 0-0 is the scoreline at Tufnell. Just reminded the referees, Victor Kasai of Hungary. Long ball forward again towards Dwight McNeil, who had a tremendous first half, I felt, with Burnley there at the moment. Remember, whatever happens after the game, we'll bring you reaction from Sean Dyche after the match, and then I'll wrap up with my thoughts after the game, and then it's all about Volk shot the shot for 20 yards, and wow, he's hit the post for more than 20 yards, and it just will not go in for Burnley. He could have had a hat-trick tonight, conceivably, Sam Vokes. Lennon has it on the far side, hooked away. Oh, Sam Vokes deserves a goal for his performance tonight. There's no doubt about that. He's played really well. This was the ball laid in, played in towards Barnes. Lovely flick, and with the side of his right foot, hits the crossbar. It's curling away, and it just needed to go the other side, and that was 1-0. And it would have been a remarkable start to the second half if Burnley would have managed it there, but unfortunately not, as it's turned out. Like a high foot there by one of the Greek players. It might have been Lazaros, but that is just unlucky, really. I mean, let's have a look at that again on the replay, because I'm hoping to get a replay, but Sam Vokes there has missed a hatful of chances. The two that were missed in the first half, it was his fault. The second one was just totally down to pure bad luck. Here's Westwood now for Burnley. They're really knocking on the door here. Here's Bardsley over the halfway line. Good football again from the Clarets, and again in field, but once again lost out. And here goes an opportunity, and here's an opportunity for the Greeks to capitalise. They've got a player down injured. I say injured, he's rolling around in perceived agony. It's number 56, Prudence. Well, Ashley Barnes telling him to get himself off the deck here. I'm not sure if he's actually faking the injury or whether he's... Well, we'll just have to see. This is the chance here for Vokes, and he's hit that through, and the goalkeeper's beaten him by an absolute mile here. And for me, that should be going in the back of the net. On another day, it sails in. But as it happens, it still remains 0-0. The referee's he's booking somebody here. Was he booking Ashley Barnes? I think he's booked Ashley Barnes. Well, if he said something out of the sync, Barnes, unless he said something out of the sync, I think that's a really harsh decision. Speaking to Jeff Henrik about it now, the referee, we've had 5 minutes of a rip-roaring second half gone. Ashley Barnes is a man that does live on the edge of things a little bit. Every Burnley fan will actually tell you that from here to sundry. But at the moment it's still 0-0, and as long as it stays that way, more it favours the Greeks, because at the moment it's been that sort of day, really, where everything just hasn't seemed to have gone right. But at the moment, with 0-0, it's still very much in the Greeks' hand. But just one goal from Burnley can change all that. And Long has been penalised, to Sean Dyche's frustration here. Ashley Barnes is furious. He's been booked. And you just think, for someone as trivial as trying to protest, some of the Greeks in the first half were making very, very awful and dirty challenges that weren't being punished. But then Ashley Barnes says something, he gets booked. I think he's a massive target for referees, unfortunately, and I don't think the referees should be operating in that tone of way. Here's Barnes, he held it up well. This is Westwood, onto McNeil now. McNeil with his left foot, oh, saved by Gianalotis. And that really was a terrific effort from Dwight McNeil. I've been really impressed by this 18-year-old. He really has stepped up to the plate on a big night. And I'll tell you what, if he'd have managed to score there, that would have been an even bigger feather in his cap. But a great save by the keeper. McNeil goes to take the corner. He may still get an assist from this next corner. The ball in towards Barnes and it just wouldn't break. And Olympiacos hook it out. Oh my goodness. Is it one of those nights for Burnley? But Dwight McNeil, what a superb hit. Really have enjoyed watching him play on an individual basis. He's had a magnificent game. The team have had an excellent game, but yet they are still needing the 2 goals. It's still not beyond the arms of possibility. The first goal is going to be crucial here. Taylor to win the header on the left hand side. Kept in, knows it? No. Out of play it was. McNeil tried gamely, but couldn't do so. Throwing to Olympiacos midway inside their own half. It remains frustratingly 0-0, but it came to McNeil and he hit this so well. The only thing that might have made it easier for the goalkeeper is the fact that it was probably straight at him, but you can't really criticise the strike too much from McNeil because he hit that with real venom and real wholesomeness. It just happened that it was just too close to the goalkeeper perhaps. But let's not nitpick the performance of Dwight McNeil. He's had a marvellous match tonight, and if that had zoomed into the back of the net, then I don't think anyone would begrudge him of that moment. And the goalkeeper made the save. Now we've got a player down injured there. I can't tell who it is because he's not showing the number to camera, but I have to say, Gianalotis, I have to tell you, made a fantastic save. It's Sam Vokes who's down. But look at the Burnley fans' reaction to this performance. It's been amazing. It's Vokes going to charge this down, and the goalkeeper's caught him, I think. And it's purely accidental. But at the moment, Burnley in the ascendancy here, but must take their chances. Burnley have a free kick, 10 yards inside their own half, taken by Heaton towards the edge of the Greek penalty area, but again hooked away, and Heaton will have to scamper back as much as he can. I say much as he can, he didn't need to in the end. There was no Greek within about a 20 or 30 yard radius of him. Just made this task that little bit easy. He pumps the ball in again from his own half, but it's nodded away with great authority there by the defender Miranda, and then Mee hits it forward. We're coming up towards the 10-minute mark of the second half. McNeil's come close and Vokes has hit a post, but yet Burnley still haven't scored yet, and it's back with Long. Good purchase on the back pass. He hasn't put a foot wrong tonight, Kevin Long. He's done the basics right. That's a foul on Ashley Barnes. Free kick. He's claiming handball there, Buchanakis. It's not a handball, it's a foul. How he has the decent... Well, he's been pushed there quite conclusively there by the Olympiacos man, and it would have been a very bad decision. And a free kick taken quickly, and Barnes has to put it in. He can't put it in, and the Greeks had sufficient numbers. McNeil was there, and the referee says no penalty. Barnes is frustrated. I think there was a penalty shout in there as well. The referee was shaping up there as the free kick was taken. Definitely onside there, Ashley Barnes. Was there a half a chance here of a penalty there? Was it McNeil that was going in here? Let's have a look at it again. Playing in towards Barnes. I don't think there was a penalty in there, I don't think, but it's better. But there's still 35 minutes left. They need 2 goals in that time, Burnley, and time is not their friend at the moment. And here come the Clarets again. We need to score twice. It's not on our side. But you just wonder, back to that first leg, the iffy refereeing in the second half around about this time cost Burnley dear. And it just makes me wonder, whether there was some dirty trick done at half time by one of the Olympiacos officials to make the referee see that they needed to make decisions in their favour. As the header comes in towards Guerrero, and then in came Lazarus. He couldn't get there, and Burnley clear. And well, there will be some questions asked about the referee over the two legs if Burnley were to go out here. But Henrik does well down the left hand side. He did magnificently well. Infield to McNeil. He's had a marvellous game. Here's a chance for Barnes, and here's a chance for Lanning on the far side. Oh, he should have shot. He's trying to play it back in towards Barnes, and in the end he did either one or the other. McNeil on the edge of the area. Still McNeil, just couldn't get it out of under his feet, but he's trying, the young 18-year-old. He's had a marvellous game. And Lennon missed a real trick. Here's a chance now for the crossing from Charlie Taylor, the ex-Leeds United man. And now the Greeks can break away and then get themselves a rather fortuitous free kick against Aaron Lennon. But, well, Lennon should score for me. Good football again. Barnes laying him in. Lennon here should strict it first time. He went for the cross. Why did he not shoot? It was the perfect angle for him to shoot. On the right foot, go for it. Put your laces through it. He went for a cross, Lennon, and in the end it was Takamachi who got it away in the end. But the Burnley fans still making all the noise here. They're still jumping up and down, but there's still no breakthrough here in this game at all. For the Clarets, still 0-0, and the longer it stays that way, the less likely they're going to progress through to the group stages. But they need something to go their way here. This is Jeff Fenwick to Kevin Long over the halfway line. Now then, Westwood to bring it towards halfway, goes over halfway. Bardsley now has it back to Westwood, and then Henrik in towards Ashley Barnes. Good chest control by the Austrian. And now, I say Austrian, he is English, but he plays his international football. He's getting calls up for Austria. Here's a chance now for the cross from Taylor. The goalkeeper coming a long way, getting a good purchase on the punch. And Bukagakis can get it away now for the Greek side now. Still 0-0 here. The game being played exclusively in the Greek half of the field. And Kamara gets it over to the far side. And this is good football, this. Burnley round lays siege to the goal. Fortunis now on the far side into Guerrero. And now Prudence. Prudence trying to go forward. The number 56. Prudence still the man for Olympiacos. On the ball for them. And now the ball out towards Lazarus, who was very effective by Ford in the first leg. Looking to be more effective in the second one, but his cross was a poor one straight into the arms of Tom Eaton, who absolutely put that one from the sky and took it under his control and under his spell. Bardsley's hurt himself there down on the far side. He's ended up in amongst the Olympiacos bench there, but he's a strong lad. He'll get on with the game. Here's Lennon on the far side. He's got Barnes and Vokes to his left. Now the ball laid into Westwood. Lennon has to make the break, but then he was offside. McNeil nailing the ball back again. A little fortuitous that pass from memory, but it's found Charlie Taylor. Taylor's cross in from the left hand side, not the best. Corner, will that go for a throw in? It will to Burnley. Looks like we're going to see Matija Vidra coming on, number 27. Played some under 23 games here in the past behind closed doors, and from what I've been told, he's done very well in all of them to get himself what they call in these parts Dutchbit. Here's an opportunity now for the Olympiacos side to come forward, but no foul. Play on, says the referee. Right to do so now, Mr. Kasai. The ball slid through to almost towards Vokes. May have been a suspicion maybe of offside though against him. Here's Fortunis now leading the charge, and he finds Guerrero. Guerrero's there. A chance here for Fortunis, and he hits his right foot drive on the edge of the area into the goalkeeper's path. He tried to side foot it, and in the end he side footed it rather tamely, I felt, and straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. Still remains 0-0. We've had an hour. We've had 61 minutes almost here. In fact, we've had them now. Here's Taylor in towards McNeil. He's had a marvellous game tonight. Young 18-year-old Dwight McNeil has played magnificently well, and he's not let anybody down at Turf Moor tonight as Westwood tries to play the ball through. Let him through. Oh, what a tackle that was by Tikamas. because Lanning for a second or two looked as if he got through, but Tukamas recovered, and in fairness to him, he did well. Still it remains 0-0, but Burnley making mistakes, forcing Olympiacos rather to make mistakes here. This is tense, going to be a last tense half an hour now. Burnley are going to be cutting it fine. They haven't made a substitution as yet, neither of the Greeks. It's still the same 22 players that started out over an hour ago. Burnley 0, Olympiacos 0. Maybe Burnley needs some fresh legs from the bench at this point. They need something now anyway. And there's another Burnley player injured, and in the end Olympiacos, that's a good thing. Well, yellow card for Westwood. But having said that, should Burnley have had a free kick in the build-up? I mean, there's no doubt Bukinakis, well, I don't think it's a yellow card. I mean, some of the Greek challenges were worse than that, and you just have to wonder here. But Aaron Lennon, surely there should have had the shot there, but he allowed the Greek defender to get back and stop him. Westwood has been booked, but it looks a harsh decision on bounce there. I don't think Mr. Kasai's done himself any favours tonight, I'm afraid. If he perceives one of the best 15 referees in the world, I think a lot of people would have to dispute that. It's a free kick for Shinakis with it into the penalty area again. Burnley defended the set pieces a lot better this time, and hooked away once more. Burnley still need 2 goals, remember, and they've got 2 men on yellow cards, which both decisions looked on the face of it despicable decisions from the referee. Still a chance here for Fortunatus, and him and Prudence got in each other's way, but they're still amazingly got possession, and Prudence is got in behind, and real danger there, and there was a chance for Guerrero inside the penalty area, just couldn't reach the ball, and Burnley somehow there survived that little onslaught by the Greeks. Still remains 0-0, and still Burnley are still alive. If that had gone in, the game would have been up, but instead of which it still remains 0-0. Burnley now looking for that opening goal. Lennon now on the right hand side, running at the defender, whips him for pace, but Tukamas keeps up with him, unfortunately, and it is a throw into Burnley in line with the edge of the 6-yard box of Olympiacos. Matthias Vidra is going to come on. Burnley's new signing from Derby County, something in the region of around about 9, maybe 10 million pounds. Folks trying to flick on the throw-in on the edge of the penalty area, just to the right of the edge of the penalty area, and then hooked away up towards Long, and then Mee wins the possession, and just took a little touch there, and in the end free kick to Burnley has been awarded there by Mr. Kasai. It has been a 10-second half substitution. Burnley, there's going to be, and Ashley Barnes is going to go off. That's a little bit of a surprise, but obviously he feels that Sam Vokes in his mind will be the more likely scorer out of the 2 strikers that started, unless Barnes is being saved up for Manchester United at the weekend. I can only assume that's the reason as to why, but one thing is for certain, Burnley now must take the opportunity now. They cannot afford to miss these opportunities, and they can't afford to concede. The free kick comes into the area, and the ball just will not break for a claret shirt inside the penalty area, and away goes Prudence again, this time down the left, or down the right rather, and a good tackle there by Henrik, but Prudence is chasing, but out comes Eaton and does well, just hoists it out for a throw-in. Safety first from the Burnley captain, he had to do that. But Jeff Henrik had initially put the claret in a little bit of bother there. His back pass really was asking for trouble there a little bit, but Tom Heaton certainly rectified that situation. 0-0, still amazingly here at the turf. But Westwood cuts that ball out, finds Vidra coming up towards halfway. Now then, real opportunity now for the Clarets. Ball forward and looking towards Vidra. Remember, he's replaced now Ashley Barnes. But still hooked away again by the Greek defenders, but again not very far, and it's on the right hand side of the right hand side of Burnley. Can they make an opportunity here? The Clarets in possession. in towards Lennon. Lennon back in field again to Barsley. There was a foul there. There was an initial advantage, but the referee then, when he saw that was no fault coming in, yes, about time. About time. It took you 66 minutes, Mr. Kasai, but finally an Olympiacos player's in the books, and it's took Mikes in the book. And about time. I think one or two of the Greeks have got away with potential yellow cards here tonight. Well, we're inside the last 25 minutes. Burnley 0, Olympiacos 0. Is there a late goal in the offing? You would like to think so. And what a performance Dwight McNeil's pulled up. He's going to take the free kick into the danger zone, and it's this time it's plucked out of the air by Johnny Otis. And Burnley thwarted again on this occasion. But a special word for the 18-year-old Dwight McNeil. In his very first start for the Clarets, he's had an absolute remarkable match. And I'll tell you what, anybody that wants to disagree with me about the quality of this 18-year-old, I think you better think again, because I think he's had a marvellous game, and I think he's got I think he's got a bright future in the game. And he's come up through the ranks exceptionally well, as Tony Lockwood, Ian Wellman and Sean Dyche have another conflab on the far side in the technical area, on their technical area that is, as Burnley comes charging forward again, but then Miranda cuts that out, but he's only found McNeil, and McNeil's having a magnificent first game for Burnley here. Started the game, a lot of surprises, a lot of eyebrows raised. How good was this McNeil? Well, he's proved anybody that was doubting him or doubting his ability completely and utterly wrong. I have to say, I have nothing but praise for the young 18-year-old. He has really performed exceptionally well, and I don't think anybody can argue with that as regards that. And there's Guerrero now on the far side. What two legs it has been. Controversy certainly in the first one. There was very, very much questionable decisions on the build-up to all three Olympiacos goals in that first leg, especially the third one when the penalty was awarded, when it didn't look a penalty. His arm was down by his side, hit his chest, then came off his hand, and Gibson then was booked a second time round, and that was a desperately disappointing decision. Here's Boccianatis now over the halfway line, and now it finds Prudence. Prudence is there now. One goal from the Greeks could kill it. 20 minutes left to play. Boccianatis deciding that now is the time to try and slow the game down, and with the 3-1 lead, albeit earned under false pretenses, they've earned that right to play the way they want to play here and dictate the play. But it's Burnley that have been dictating things. They're winning the ball well, fairly and squarely in a lot of areas. Henrik now putting towards the halfway line, but he's being tracked by a lot of the Greek players. But he's played a nice intelligent ball to Charlie Taylor, and Taylor will amble down the left hand side, and he does well, and then wins the corner off the defender Abdelale, and it will be a corner now to Burnley. They have really had a good go here tonight, and whatever happens, they should be praised for this, the Clarets. They've really done exceptionally well. And what about his prowess tonight? Dwight McNeil, he's going to leave it, in fact, to Ashley Westwood. I think he's going to try the right foot here and get the ball into the penalty area. So Westwood with the right foot into the penalty area, it swings. Goalkeeper fisting, but not very far. There's two Burnley players conversion deep inside the 6-yard area, but they can't get a purchase on it to get anywhere near the goal. And then Lennon's penalised for a cheap foul there on Fortunis. The goalkeeper, a very lucky man here, went for it, didn't get anything on it. Another day that might have fallen to a Burnley player who would have lashed that into the back of the net. With less than 20 minutes left of the match left to play, and it doesn't look as if there's going to be a breakthrough here anytime soon here for Burnley. They do need to score. The Greeks are celebrating as if they've won the thing. I'm just taking a sip of drink while we're going to see a substitution being made. Number 18, Hassan, is going to come on for Olympiacos to replace the very static Guerrero. Free kick, which John Ortiz is going to take. This goal has really lived a charmed life here this evening. Burnley still trail, remember, 3-1, 0-0 on the night here, 72 minutes gone, and the Greek side who lead 3-1 on aggregate. A lead they've earned, in my opinion, under false pretences. There are some Burnley fans who have just given it up completely. There's one fan I've just seen there, can't look, and he's he's one of the older fans who's probably seen it, gone through it over the years. Burnley have not, over the two legs, disgraced themselves in any way, shape or form. It's just that iffy referee in the first leg, and I will still point to that. If we do go out tonight, it will be leaving a sour taste in mine and everyone else's Persuasion's mouth, that is for sure. Burnley 0, Olympiacos 0, annoyingly on the night. It's still 3-1 to the Greek side on aggregate. DeLong gets the ball forward over to the far side, and here's Lennon running at defenders, does well here. Lennon tracks back again infield towards Henrik does well, finds Westwood now looking out to the left hand side, and it's Charlie Taylor. He's got McNeil on the overlap if he needs. Taylor goes towards the area. Has he tried to do too much on Taylor? Still onside. Pulled back and Vidra shoots, and then the referee blows for an offside. Well, it didn't look offside from where I was sitting. I think that's a poor decision. And a free kick, annoyingly again, to Olympiacos. Now, what point was he offside there? Well, I'm not sure. He's off the field of play as that ball is played, and I think that's a very, very poor decision by the officials. Double substitution coming right up. Chris Wood is going to be one and Jack Cork the other, so I'm guessing that Sam Vokes is going to be being substituted here, and they'll have to wait a few seconds to get on the field here. 73.5 minutes just overplayed. McNeil to take it up for Burnley. Finds Taylor. Taylor knocks it back to his goalkeeper Tom Heaton, and now we're heading up towards what Alex Ferguson used to call squeaky bum time, up towards Sam Vokes. Flicked on into the path of Vidra. Vidra looks a lively character, and that could go for a throw in. It will for Burnley, and they will probably make that double substitution now. Olympiacos have used one. This is going to be the second and third changes, so Cork off for Lennon. So look into that one if you will. Lennon comes off and Jack Cork comes on. That's the first substitution, and the second one is Chris Wood, and my guess will be Sam Vokes. No, it's not. It's Dwight McNeil. Well, that is a real surprise. I honestly thought Dwight McNeil would have stayed on for the full 90 the way he's been playing. That's a bit of a boo-boo from Sean Dyche, but he's getting a standing ovation. However, the young 18-year-old, he's not let anybody down at all tonight. Does get a clap and a hug there from Sean Dyche, but I felt he should have stayed on the field. But there you go. I mean, Sean Dyche is paid to make those decisions, not me, but personally I would have kept Dwight McNeil on. Here's Vidra though to Westwood. Westwood losing out, and this could be trouble. Here goes Fortunatis, and here's Hassan towards the area, but he loses control, and in the end Kevin Long has to concede a corner, and as a double whammy, he's collided with the luminous advertising hoardings behind the goal as he slid in and collided with them quite hard too, I have to say. Nearly broke them as well. But it is a corner. We're now coming up towards the latter stages of the match. It looks as if it's Olympiacos night. They've survived everything in sundry over two legs, and a long range effort over the top there from Tukas Myers with his right foot, which would have been a very optimistic opportunity to score a goal from. But at the moment it's not looking very good at the moment for Burnley, and they're going out of Europe as things stand. And here they go again now, the Greeks. They're looking to finish this once and for all, but again, good defending from Kevin Long. I have to say he's not put a foot wrong, and prudence Prudence needs to get up on his feet. He knows he's been in a game against Kevin Long. I think anyone that comes up against Kevin Long, he's been in a game. Oh, that looks a very dubious offside decision. I thought he was level. At first glance, I thought he was level there, Chris Wood. I really did. Let's have a look at it again. He's level. He's level. That's a poor decision by the officials. He's desperately, in my opinion, he's well level. I think he's a yard behind the defender. I think that's a poor decision again by the referee and his officials. And once again, the referee has made, and the linesmen have made 2, maybe 3 bad calls in this second half. There's a player down. It's Prudence. Well, we've got 13 to go, and yet the game still remains stalemate on the night, that is. And the Burnley fans are not happy that Prudence is milking this, I think. I really do. I'm not sure if he's genuinely injured or not. I can't tell from where I'm sitting up in the commentary box, but I've got to tell you that I'm absolutely well, if it is to the point that he's milking it, yeah, it looks as if he's milking it. I think it's blatant time wasting more than anything else. Well, whatever Burnley have done tonight, they've done it fighting, and the goalkeeper booked, and I think that's the correct decision by Mr. Kasai. He was taking literally about 10, 15, 20 seconds over that free kick. That's, to me, is the most blatant of cheating in the book, and I think the referee was right for once. Here's Charlie Taylor now for the Clouds. That's a foul surely there by Hassan. It was a silly foul, and he should be booked as well because he came in from behind. Referee not allowing it. He's not going to show the card. He should have done. Not been impressed with the way they played tonight, the Olympiacos, I have to say. They haven't deserved to be 3-1 up in the tie. Here's the free kick taken by Heaton towards the edge of the area. Hooked away once more. Now this could be trouble. Oh, well, the hamstring I think is gone. Fortunatus I think is the man who's down. And in fact I think the referee's going to book some. Oh, he's booked Barnsley. He's booked Barnsley for what? Well, I'm not sure about this. He's hardly touched him at all, and he's got a yellow card for it. Absolutely despicable from the referee. Barnsley hardly touched him. The injury never happened because of Barnsley's tackle. Barnsley hardly got him. I understand that the Greeks are grievance at their injury, but that's not a yellow card offence for Turl Barnsley. Never in a million years is that, in my opinion, a yellow card. And I've criticised this particular referee in the past. His performance is not acted like as if it's the top 15 FIFA approved referees. I don't think he's a good referee at all. And the two referees, I'm afraid to say tonight, have been bent and crooked, and those Greek supporters have got off scot-free. I tell you what, if FIFA had the balls to investigate what the shenanigans of a week ago, then maybe Olympiacos may have been thrown out of Europe, and that would have been the right thing for everybody. The crossing from the right-hand side taken from Lazarus, taken out of the air by Eaton. Well, once again, we've seen the best team in this game not winning a long ball from Eaton, just too long on it. The goalkeeper now, and I know the referee will be conscious of, he took about 15-20 seconds, I'm counting now, and he's running the risk of a red card here, the goalkeeper. But I'm afraid that Phil Barnsley yellow card was never a yellow card in a month of Sundays. Absolutely ridiculous. Here's Cork for the Clarets. 10 minutes to play. It's still a possibility they could still score 2. In football, there's an old phrase that you need one. It only takes 1 second to score a goal. Westwood getting the ball forward long. Burnley have looked so comfortable in possession tonight. It's almost been mesmerising. Up towards Folks now. Chesting onto Cork. Onto Taylor down the left-hand channel. Cork is there too. Can Cork get a ball into the area? He can. Towards the back stick, and they climb up for the headers, and the header back, and Wood's in there to win it. The goalkeeper's there, and then Vidra, it came so quick to him, and in the end just couldn't keep it down with his side of his left foot, and it's blazed over the top and behind for a goal kick. Well, there you are. That's the story in the match, encapsulated in about 2 seconds there. Poor header back, goalkeeper in trouble, and Vidra, well, maybe the ball came a little too quick for him there. The Burnley fans still biting their nails, some of them resigned looks on their faces, but surely we have to be proud of the way they've got about business tonight and tried to affect things. But unfortunately it's what's happened in Greece really that's undone Burnley tonight. Unfortunately, done Burnley overall. The undecision by a Slovenian referee on all three Greek goals looked very, very much on the iffy side. The decisions that led up to them, that is, the free kick. Was it a free kick? The second one, was it a free kick for that one when Bukanakis headed in, and then the penalty? Well, that was the insult to an already injured Eagle, that one. And here comes an opportunity now. Prudence is free. This would be an insult to injury. Prudence shoots, he scored. Oh, they so do not deserve that. Daniel Prudence scores, but they do not deserve that, in my opinion. They go through, but they do not deserve it overall. Sean Dyche is furious. The Greeks go through, but in my opinion, over the two legs, they've gone through under very, very false pretences. I'm absolutely so sorry for Burnley. They played so well, and for them to concede a goal like that just totally adds insult to injury. That's never 4-1. It's 4-1 on aggregate, but that's never a 4-1 scoreline. And Sean Dyche is furious. Prudence, a lucky boy, really. He's been faking it a lot of the time as well. He has looked a very dangerous customer, but I've not been pleased with his antics tonight. But it was going to be too much to ask there. Kerry Long, it was a good finish, but they do not deserve to be ahead in this match, not overall, and that has killed the tie off. But they don't deserve it in my book. And when I sum up the two legs as a whole, then I'm gonna really lay into them, because I honestly think they've won it under very, very false pretences indeed. But Burnley, can they snatch? No, they need 3 now to force the extra half an hour. They've had chances, the Claris, let's be fair, and I'm not trying to detract away from that, but I just look back to that first leg. All those poor decisions in the second half, or over the 90 minutes from that Slovenian referee. Has it come back to haunt Burnley here? Taylor, that's surely got to be a foul. Victor Kasai agrees. Free kick to Burnley. Can they get themselves at least an equaliser? They may as well, if they're going to go down here, the Claris, they may as well go down fighting. But there's no way that's a 4-1 aggregate lead to the Greeks. No way in the world. So Westwood to take the free kick. It's so cruel, so cruel. So cruel. Can Westwood force the equaliser? Westwood with a free kick into the penalty area towards the back post and headed over. It is a corner though. It came off the defender last. Ben Mee got the header in. It came off Kamara, and behind the front of the corner. Burnley still will harbour ambitions to at least make it very, very tricky now for the Greeks, and the crowd still believe. 3 goals required, but it can be done. Remember Liverpool in the Champions League in Istanbul. Here comes the corner over on the far side into the penalty area. Fox is there off the line. Chance still in there. And Vidra knocks it in. Burnley have one back. Matthias Vidra, with 4 minutes to spare, has given Burnley a little bit of hope now. They're back in it, only fleetingly, but they still need 2 more. But Vidra's goal, they deserve that, the Clarets. They haven't given in. They haven't given up hope. It was headed off the line. Fox had a go, and then Vidra right on the line, nodded it, flicked it in, and Burnley have themselves a deserved goal on the night. They deserve that. No doubt about it. But if only they come so sooner in the game. But they still need another 2, and they've still got a little bit of time to do it. Just over 4 minutes left, plus stoppage time. It still could be done. 2 goals required, and here goes Cork over towards the far side. If they can get another one here, what a finish this could be. Here's Westwood now. Burnley now with their tails up all of a sudden. And Vidra is making a real difference. Vidra is in there. Vidra was pulled down. It has to be a penalty. He's not giving it the referee. I'm absolutely annoyed about that. Bukanakis has been booked for an alien incident, but in my opinion, look at that, he's got a fistful of shirt. It's a penalty. Absolute disgrace from Victor Kasai, the referee. That to me is a penalty kick. How on earth the referee cannot give that, I just do not understand. And how in the world do you not give a penalty for a clear shot ball like that? Oh my goodness. And now he's giving a foul against me for a powder puff challenge on Hassan, who went down like he's been shot. And now oh really referee, absolute disgrace. That was not called for. A free kick possibly sufficed. Yellow card, no. Disgraceful from Victor Kasai. If he's one of the best 15 FIFA approved referees in the world, then I'm Mother Teresa in as far as I'm concerned. It's been an absolute disgrace. Well, he's been just as bad as the Slovenian referee by the looks of it. As Fortunatis tries to con a few more seconds here. Well, Burnley should have had a penalty there. There's no doubt about that. No doubt at all in my mind. That should not. It should have been a penalty. Fortunatis is on. The Greys can celebrate, but they don't deserve to on balance of play. They have been nothing but cheats throughout. They've had the referee in the back pocket for most of it. And when I sum up, I'm going to absolutely rant on afterwards, because it needs to be said. There's a few things, when I sum up tonight, there are a few things I need to get off my chest about these two legs. And not all of it, I'm afraid to say, good from the Greek point of view. And there are good, valid reasons why I want to review the two legs just quickly before I leave tonight, because I am absolutely fuming. Some of the decisions from both referees, not just the Slovenian referee, but in the last 4 or 5 minutes from Mr. Kasai tonight, have really left a horrible taste in one's mouth. That's a foul there, surely there, but he's going to give it, he's giving him the free kick. Right, so it's Toxinatis who's just come on, in fact. Number 35. Clear push now. Shouldn't he be booked for that? That's a professional foul, isn't it? Yes, Heaton with a free kick. We are into the last sort of 90 seconds. The goalkeeper punching. It comes to Bardsley. His first touch was poor, and then he's... Oh, really? That's had an insult to injury once again. I don't think that's a foul. The referee again, he's had a shock of these last 10 minutes, Mr. Kasai. Now, Vogt's entitled to go for it. Bardsley lost control. I think he's bought that one, the Greek. I really do. Bukanakis is one of the biggest cheaters in the book. He's one of the biggest divers in the book, as far as I'm concerned. Having watched him over the two legs, he's absolutely conned the referee there. 30 seconds of normal time to go. And it does leave a bitter taste in the mouth. People will say I'm looking at it from rose-tinted spectacles, but when you've seen what I've seen, you'll understand mine and everyone else's frustration at it. Obviously there's the Premier League to consider as well. There's a big game on Sunday against Manchester United, which the Clives will be up for, but it's been more Burnley-like tonight, I have to say. Now surely there must be at least 4 or 5 or 6 added minutes at the end here. Well, only 4. Well, that just typifies the poor standard of officiating here in this match tonight, unfortunately. The ball flicked on towards Vidra, hooked away again, and everything hasn't been there. Not taking away the fact that Burnley have had ample chances to win it, even without the iffy refereeing during the match tonight. And towards Vogts. Vogts winning the header, and there's a player gone down. The referee's, well, predictably going to stop it, isn't he? Well, that just sums it all up. I'm banging the commentary desk in complete disbelief, and the more this match goes on, the more I get the feeling here that UEFA officials don't want this game of football to be a contact sport. It might as well be a non-contact sport, as far as I am concerned. I am so fed up. I've seen these teams, these foreign teams, get away with blue murder for play acting and for diving and for cheating and for all sorts here. And that's got to be a foul then, but the referee, yeah, he has given it there, the referee, but yeah, it's just been ridiculous, the referee in the last 10 minutes, he really has. And there will be questions asked. We'll hear from Sean Dyche, and then I'll rant, and I'll have my rant to finish off. And the ball back to Tom Heaton. Well, I want to talk about the campaign as a whole and the refereeing in this campaign, because the refereeing over the 3 legs, or the 3 ties that Burnley have had to play, they've all had shockers in every one of them. Here's Wesley Westwood. Burnley still aren't giving up. Less than 3 minutes left now, coming up to the halfway mark of the 4 minutes. There should have been 5 or 6 really, for the amount of time wasting that's gone on with the Greek side, and the referees just let them get away with it. It really has been an evening that 2 legs really that we will not forget for all the wrong reasons. Here's Vidra now, right hand side. Burnley now looking to finish with a flourish, like they must do now. In towards Bogues. Can he finish the night with a goal? Here's Jack Cork on the edge of the area. Back towards Westwood, who tries the shot. Blocked by the defender. Might come here to Vidra. Vidra inside the area. But again, the ball just breaks rather fortuitously for the Greek side. And we're now inside the last 90 seconds of stoppage time. And they get the ball forward towards halfway. And Kevin Loggins had a marvellous game once again. I can't fault his effort. And I just want to turn positive for a second or two and talk about 18-year-old Dwight McNeil. What a hand he's played in the Burnley performance tonight. He has really been the most liveliest youngster I don't think we've produced for quite some time. Probably the best youngster we've produced probably since Jay Rodriguez. When you look at the evidence of what's happened here tonight, 1 minute of the 4 to go. Should have been 5 or 6 in my opinion, but well, it's been one of those nights. And well, Burnley will feel hard done by over the 2 legs. There's no doubt about that. But it's never a 4-2 aggregate win for the Greeks. They don't deserve it on balance of play. Some of the decisions they got in the first leg were very, very suspect. And tonight, in the last 5 or 6 minutes, they've had some very suspect decisions. Some debatable bookings against Burnley players when there were more nastier challenges from the Greeks in the first half. And now they're going to allow a substitution here. And this is going to waste more time. This is frustrating. It's absolutely frustrating. Prodence, who's the villain of the piece as far as I'm concerned tonight, not because he scored the goal, but he has done his fair share of cheating and play acting tonight, I'm afraid. Cite will come on just to have a couple of seconds and enjoy the victory, which is undeserved. We have played 4 minutes. Surely the referee will add on those seconds now at the end, but I doubt there'll be any more than about 30 seconds over now. The way the referee's refereed, I'm afraid. He's checked his watch. Here's Taylor. Last chance for Burnley to try and make it more respectable. They've got a corner now. Surely they'll be allowed to take it. They're going to take it now. Come on, Burnley, finish with a flourish. Here's Taylor now with the corner. Burnley may be out, but let's see if we can get another one. Taylor now to swing the corner into the penalty area, headed away again as far as Cork. Still might be kept alive by Westwood. They'll still have another chance. We've played 40 seconds over the 4 that was allocated, and Burnley still going here. They want a free kick. They're not going to get it. That is poor refereeing. It looked a foul to me. The referee's about to blow up, I think. Here's Jack Cork now on halfway. And the referee just got his whistle poised to his mouth, and he doesn't let the attack breathe, and there goes the full-time whistle. Burnley have crashed out of the Europa League. 1 game prior to the group stages. 1-1 on the end was not enough, but Olympiacos in back winning the tie 4-2 in the group. But you have to ask serious questions on some of the officiating over the 2 legs. The decision to give a free kick which led to Fortunatis' first goal over in Greece. A very harsh decision which led to the second goal that Fortunatis got over in Greece, and then the penalty, well, that just added insult to injury. And then some of the decisions that Victor Kasai made tonight were very suspect. But all that said, Sam Wilkes had 2 glorious chances in the first half, and then one in the second where his glorious 25-yard curler hit the right-hand post and bounced away. On another day that goes in. Burnley should have had a penalty not long after Vidra had scored as well. There were some yellow cards which was to Burnley players which were very, very harsh. Some of the Greeks cheating, that was play acting and diving to con referees into decisions. But I'm going to go over all the ball refereeing at full time. But they are getting a standing ovation, the Burnley players, from the fans, and it was the sort of performance really that Jimmy McIlroy would have approved of. But it just wasn't enough on the end, and you just feel those decisions in Greece by the Slovenian referees cost us over the piece. But no disgrace tonight. Burnley were far the better team, certainly in the second leg. They certainly looked a good side in the first leg, only to be undone by the poor bent refereeing that we saw over in Greece. But there's nothing to be disgraced about Burnley. They gave it their all tonight. It just wasn't enough. The luck just wasn't on our side. And the Burnley players and fans, there are massive... You can tell by the looks on some of these faces that they are picking themselves up. But the Greek side, well, they can shout about and celebrate, but they have won it, I'm telling you now, under very, very false pretenses indeed. And as I said, I'll wrap up in my wrap-up in a little while. I will absolutely tell you exactly why. But Burnley walk off to a standing ovation, and boy, did they deserve one. They don't, in my opinion, the Greeks. They have won it purely and utterly by conning the referee, and I think that some elements of that tie, in my opinion, were rigged. But it's ended 1-1 on the night, and Olympiacos, I hate to say it, 4-2 on aggregate, but Burnley have been robbed. Have been sincerely robbed. And that's the stage here as everyone leaves at Turf Moor. So that's the result. What a disappointing night for the clubs, but they can hold their heads up with great pride. 1-1 on the night, but Olympiacos, under false pretenses possibly, go through 4-2 on aggregate. Well, we gave it a roll, but, well, were we undone by the yippee refereeing in the first leg? That's my opinion of the whole episode. But before I rant on and finish off the broadcast by ranting on a bit, let's gonna hear from the protagonist tonight. We'll hear from Sam Vokes in just a second, but we're going to hear from Sean Dyche and get his opinion on what really was a very disappointing night for the Clarets.
I wanted us to get back to what we're about, and I felt that was missing at the weekend. I know two different competitions, but I wanted the players to get back to that, and I thought it was on show tonight. I thought the fans appreciated it. I thought they were terrific. And the energy from the crowd, it's important now, because we've got to get back to the Premier League. We've had a tough start, it's important, that energy. But the players have given them something to be energised about. I thought the performance was excellent. I thought the manner, I thought the feel, I thought the dominant feel, the quality, the energy, some of the football displayed, some of the chances created. It's a strange game sometimes, because you can away a game like that with a 1-1, and performing like that would have every chance of going through. Couldn't take the chances on the night, but very, very proud of the way the players have gone about it.
You just seemed you needed that first goal, and you feel if you got that first goal, it could be anything tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're on the back foot virtually. I don't know if they remember it in the first 30 seconds. We have a movement down the right. Bardo gets in behind, crosses, we get a corner. The whole feel of the night was going out and turning this tie around, and I'm really pleased with that. It's not easy, because 3-1's a hefty scoreline to come round to, and if we could have got that early goal, we created so many chances. That's pleasing, though, but we've got to take them. But we created so many chances, and within all of that, we mustn't forget, young man Dwight McNeil makes a full debut in a tournament like this, in a game like that. Fantastic for him. He's made big strides over the last 6 months. Now he's got a lot of hard work to do to become part of what we are as a first team, but he's making a good account of himself and showing good signs of it. So him and his family should be very proud.
He was fearless tonight, but you had 11 warriors out there tonight who just were relentless in trying to get that first goal that would have got you back in it.
Yeah, I loved it, because before the game, I actually spoke to the players about our identity. I said, let's regain our identity. Results come and go, lads, but let's regain that. And I think that was important tonight. because sometimes it can get lost, you know, and you have an awkward result of the weekend and the performance wasn't like us. We got back to that tonight. I thought there were some really good individual performances and a really good team performance. A very Burnley performance tonight, with quality, with energy, and with that inner belief to keep going. Even at the end there, we're still chasing it. You know, we can't believe what's going on, really. You know, to be 1-0 down after all our chance tonight, but we're still chasing it. We still nick a goal. Great for Vince, you know, he gets on the score sheet. That's what we are at Burnley. Never say never, relentless in our attitude, and I thought it was on show tonight. But of course, got to go and do it all again.
Ultimately, I guess the tower was probably lost with what happened out in Greece, wasn't it?
Well, you only start with what happened out in Greece.
Well, I agree with him. I agree with the reporter there, Des Bentley. It was lost by iffy refereeing, but I'll touch on that in a minute. But first of all, I want to get reaction. There's also the reaction of Sam Vokes as well. Let's get reaction from him. He was speaking after the game.
Effort, that must have tonight going out.
It does, yeah. Especially because I think everyone here tonight will see that we gave our all, fully committed to the tie and going through. We knew the job we needed to do. I think we set up the right way and went about it the right way. So yeah, it's gutted tonight in the end.
Had the first goal gone in, I think it would have been so different, and we came so close, and you in particular, so many times it was just not that night.
Yeah, unfortunately it felt it. Attack after attack, we created loads of chances. Myself, I could have had a few at half time, and even in the second half when it hit the post, and we created lots of other chances as well. But do you know what, it's one of those, and we'll keep our heads held high and come back in, and another big one around the corner with United on Sunday.
You didn't do a lot wrong, Sam, but when it hit the post, it was a fantastic effort. Did you think at that moment, it ain't going to be our night?
Yeah, of course. As the game goes on, you think it's one of those things. You keep going and you keep battling away, but the little things that I think quite go for us tonight, and we gave it our all, left everything out on the pitch. So for us, it was even more gutting that we couldn't get through. But it's one of those, and we've had a great experience in this, and it's time to concentrate on the league.
If you are going to go out, that's the way to do it. If it's such, because I think the supporters really appreciate the effort he put in. There's a great atmosphere on the ground tonight, wasn't it?
Yeah, they did. They backed us, and you can't beat nights at the turf when it's like that. It was bouncing, and you can see the fans were right behind us. We went into it knowing the job we had to do, obviously, after the first round, and it was unfortunate we couldn't get that done. But we, like I said, we hold our heads high and concentrate on the next one now.
I think at the group stages there'll be a lot of teams not as good as yourselves in it. The draw's not been kind, and then over the two legs that you certainly weren't the second best side, I don't think.
No, you're right. I think even if we went through the three teams we'd have got, it wouldn't have been as tough as that. It's been a tough road, an enjoyable road. I think the fans and the players have enjoyed it all together. Something new to us all, and it's great to have that experience. But now it's important that we get back to a day job and concentrate on the league.
And they don't come much tougher than Sunday, but what a game to look forward to. And as you say, it's about refocusing a little bit. You've had a great go at this. It ends here, but lots to crack on with.
There is, yeah. It's been quite a tough start for us, I think, with the amount of fixtures with the Europa League and the Premier League. But we know in some of the Premier League games we haven't quite been at our best, so it's important that we take the positives from tonight and build on that for Sunday. I think.
Well, I've had enough of that interview. I don't like him at all, but I just want to, well, Sam Vokes there, he could have had a couple himself, he knows that, and he was, you know, he missed two goal test chances and one he was very unlucky with. Burnley did have chances, not detracting from that at all. We did have ample chances, we just didn't take them. But I want to talk about the tie as a whole. Yes, of course, we have to Burnley have to look forward towards Manchester United. We know that, and I know the Premier League is the priority for them, and you know, I know it's hard to bear, but since last night the draw's been made, and the winners Olympiacos have been drawn against AC Milan and Real Betis, and what two games we would have loved to have had at Turf Moor, and that just makes it that little bit more hard to come to terms with, because I have to say Olympiacos were disgraceful over the two legs in the way their gamesmanship, the way they were unsportsmanlike towards the opposition, Burnley in this case. Right, I can't prove anything, but I am very, very convinced that that bit of skullduggery towards the end of the first half in Athens was the catalyst, the game changer, when they didn't get a penalty at 1-1 for what was never a handball. They all jumped up, and I reckon that got in the referee's head. And then I hear rumours after the match that the Olympiacos officials or the chairman has got into the referee's room, demanded that he gets the decisions right in his team's favour. And I have to say, in the second half there were some very iffy decisions indeed. Very iffy decisions. Not especially the penalty they got when it was not a handball to start with against Ben Gibson. He had his arms clear down the side. The ball comes off his chest first, and then to add insult to injury, sends the lad off. Disgraceful. And then we had the situation towards the end with Victor Kasai. UEFA or FIFA described him as one of the best 15 officials in the world. On that display tonight, is he? Is he? I very much doubt it. Now, people might listen to this and think I'm a bitter, twisted old man. Then maybe they have a point. But I'm looking at facts. And the fact is this. Burnley were done again by some very iffy refereeing tonight. The bookable offences that the Greeks should have had in the first half for dangerous challenges were not punished. Yet, Ashley Barnes says something out of turn to one of their players. He gets a yellow card for it. Phil Bardsley hardly touching Fortunatis on halfway. Gets a yellow card for it. The Greeks were out to con people tonight. Don't be fooled by their performance over 2 legs, because they did not deserve, in my opinion, to win it over 2 legs. The goal they got was against the run of the play. They didn't deserve that neither. Again, I'm not trying to come across as bitter and twisted, but this is what I believe has happened over 2 legs. Now, I can't prove anything, but if UEFA had had their wits about them, and believe you and me, there would have been officials in that tunnel at half-time, surely. A week ago in Athens, surely a delegate from UEFA should have done that and should have reported it. And if he had reported it and it had been proven, then there's no doubt in my mind Olympiacos would have been thrown out of the Europa League. I know it's an old cliche that Burnley must concentrate on the league, and believe me, the performances in the league haven't been great, but to go out of Europe on controversial refereeing, and I've got to say, over the 3 ties that we played in this tournament, there were no really good referees at all. They were all poor, bad officials, very ranked decisions against us against Aberdeen, especially away from home. Ranked decisions against us against the Turkish side, but we got away with it and won 1-0 overall. And then over in Athens, well, that just really took the biscuit. But there you go. I'm proud. Listen, let's all be proud of what Burnley tried to do tonight. Last night, they were fantastic. They were gladiator. They were played like gladiators. They played like tigers. Let me finish on a positive note. Dwight McNeil, 18 years old, in for the injured Goodmanson tonight. He had an absolute storming match, and he did not deserve the fate that bestowed him and Burnley last night. He did not deserve that. The performances, there were brilliant performances from people like Ben Mee. Look back to his best. Kevin Long had a good game. Tom Heaton, when he was called on, didn't let the side down. Phil Bardsley actually had a good game. And I'm one of his biggest critics. Taylor asked a few questions. There were all sorts of positives, but in essence, the 2 iffy referees in this tie have cost Burnley. And for them Greeks, for the Greeks, and I have to say, I don't want to use the word cheats, but for them cheats, and I'm going to use the word, I don't use it very lightly. And people will say I'm a very bitter old man, and I'm a Burnley fan, and people accuse me of looking at it from rose-tinted glasses, but that was never a 4-2 aggregate win for the Olympiacos side. And anybody who's watched the 2 legs have to concur that the refereeing standards in that particular match, considering that they are side by they are a bigger team in terms of reputation and European experience, no doubt about that, but in a lot of respects Burnley were better because we went for them, and yet they got away with every dirty trick in the book. But let's not detract from the fact that Burnley did have ample chances. Sam Vokes had 2 clear headers that should have gone in. He hit the post in the stages of the second half. Ashley Barnes had one that just went narrowly wide. We should have had a clear penalty for Matija Vidra just after he scored, incidentally. It isn't. Well, you know, you wait 51 years for an opportunity like this and get snatched away by by very poor referees who, believe it or not, have actually gone past the FIFA approved stage, past the FIFA approved stage. Well, if I don't know what the criteria is for a referee to be FIFA approved, but if the criteria is that standard, then I think the FIFA have to look at the way they approve referees and approve referee standards, because those two referees in the two legs of this game, this tie, was certainly not up to the level expected by a FIFA official. And I think FIFA and UEFA have to look at this system, the way they're sending through referees. If they're picking them on merit, then I'm sorry, Slovenia and Hungary, they're not great football nations. Maybe Hungary once upon a time back in the 1950s maybe, but they're not the best. They're not the best country. They haven't got the best league in the world. They've got a very poor league. Same with Slovenia. And to get referees at them for a game as big as this was a disgrace. And I think UEFA have to take a long, hard look in the mirror and how they appoint referees and how bent they really are. I'm not saying Victor Kassai is bent in any way. I'm not saying he's as bent as, but certainly the Slovenian referee was absolutely iffy. And I'll have to use that word very strongly indeed. Well, the European tour is over for Burnley, but the Premier League tour begins in earnest. Well, at home to Manchester United, that's one of the games you'll be able to hear on the JB Corrett YouTube channel over the next few days, and hopefully I'll calm down enough by Saturday night, or tomorrow night as it is, to bring you a Saturday night match live, which will come, just bear with me a second, while we get the full Premier League stuff up at the moment. Just bear with me 1 second. We'll get all that up now for you. Premier League, that's it. Let's have a look at the fixtures then over the next. It's Man City Newcastle that's due to be our live match, so we're going to go to the Etihad for the very first time on Saturday. The other fixtures are Leicester Liverpool at 12:30. Brighton then at 3 o'clock, Brighton Fulham, Chelsea Bournemouth, Crystal Palace Southampton, Everton against Huddersfield, and West Ham Wolves. And then the Sunday game should be coming from Turf Moor when Burnley will look to put this, well, horrible disappointment behind them when they take on Manchester United. So we'll be featuring both clubs that weekend. The other games on Sunday: Cardiff against Arsenal and Watford against Spurs. Well, it never was intended, the European tour, to end in this controversial fashion. I didn't want to rant at the end of the programme. I would have done it if we'd have stayed live last night, and I would have done the same thing. So whatever I said, I don't regret, but I've seen what I've seen over the two games, and I have to say, even from a neutral point, you know, I'm a Burnley fan and I get bitter about results going against us at the best of times, and I know I'll accept losing if we've lost to a better side over the piece. I don't think we've lost to a better side over the piece. I think we've lost to some very iffy refereeing, and I will not change my opinion on that. If people want to comment and disagree with me or agree with me on that, that's fine, but I've told you what I think of it. And I don't think those two referees should never ever be allowed to referee a big match of importance. I'm very disappointed with Victor Kassai's performance tonight. I was very disappointed with the Slovenian referee, which I'm loving to mention right now, because I don't think he should be a FIFA approved referee or be a referee in Slovenia as far as I'm concerned, because his decisions were very, very poor. But well, Burnley, let's not detract from the performance that Burnley put up tonight. They were defiant. They were superb. They fought like lions. Dwight McNeil, 18 years old, had a marvellous game. And yet, we just couldn't get the 2 goals required to get us over the line. But we gave it up. Burnley gave it their best shot. But we're out of Europe. Now it's all about the domestic front for the Clarets. As we know, down to 3 competitions. That's the league, the Carabao competition, by the way, we've drawn Burton in that, and of course the FA Cup to come in January. So the season's far from over, but it's very, very disappointing that the European Tour has ended on that sour note. But thank you very much for listening. From me, JB, enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll see you tomorrow for the big game between Manchester City and Newcastle, our Saturday night offering for you. Until then, have a wonderful have a wonderful Friday and take care. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.